Alright, how's it YouTube? I've been asked to make this video quite a while ago, and to be honest, I always forget. But I've been asked, how do I can up my leftovers after dinner? And I wanted to show you guys how absolutely easy it is. Now, we just finished eating, and I still have my spaghetti sauce out here. There's my noodles, and I've got quite a bit of this left. Now, most people would probably throw this maybe in the fridge and reuse it, and if I had meat to make meatball subs tomorrow night for dinner, I would, but I don't. So, tomorrow night's dinner does not consist of spaghetti sauce. So what I'm going to do instead is can it. Some people would freeze it. I've said before, I have a very small freezer. Plus, we lose power a lot where I live, and I have lost more money in food from losing it in the freezer than I can even tell you guys. So I no longer freeze my food. I can it. At least anything that I can. I think this time, because I've got quite a few quarts, actually, I've got 3 or 4 left on my shelf. But I would like to do some pints. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I might get 2, maybe 3 pints out of this, but you know what? And I've been asked, is it really worth it? To me, it is. You know, 2 or 3 pints, 2 or 3 quarts on my shelf is 2 or 3 more than I didn't have this morning waking up. So, and it's another dinner or 3 dinners. If I put this in pints, a pint would be enough for Matt and I for dinner on weekends where my kids are with their dad and Mason, but he eats very little. So that's 3 dinners. Or it can be a lunch one day. So that's what I'm going to do. So as you can see, it's still very hot. It's smoking. And so my process is going to be very simple. I remove the noodles. Now the noodles I'm going to reuse tomorrow night. I will make some sort of pasta salad with it, probably using some zesty Italian dressing and some onions and tomatoes and maybe some black olives, and make a cold pasta salad. And then this we are going to can. So what I'm going to do is just scoot this over, and I'm going to go get my canner. Now this needs to be pressure canned because of the spices that we've added to it, the herbs and all of that stuff. I pressure can tomatoes anyway, anything tomatoey except for salsa that has a lot of maybe vinegar in it. But here's my canner. I'm going to get down my lid and get my insert here. And there's my insert, which is going to go right there on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and fill my canner up to 3 inches of water. So here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and add the water. Okay, so we are just going to heat up our jars. So I'm just going to lay a cloth out and grab some jars. So I've got 5 pints here. I'm going to throw these in my oven right now, and I will be back in about 10-15 minutes when they're nice and heated. Alright, hopefully this stays recording now. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes. My jars are nice and hot. I've got everything clean. I've had my lids soaking in hot water. Let me get my lifter. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my canner on probably medium-low just to get the water heated and going. Alright, so this is what I do. I'm just going to go ahead and start filling up my pint jars here. let's zoom you in a little bit more here. Just so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, so I'm filling my jars in a 1/4 inch headspace. I'm doing pints, so I'm going to process these for 20 minutes. If you're doing quarts, you're going to do 25 minutes. At least that's for the meatless. I don't have meat in my sauce. Alright. Go ahead and fill up another one. I also don't have any chunks released. There's really no air bubbles to get out or anything like that. Okay. I might be able to fill all 5. Very close. Grab out the last 2 remaining jars. And I don't even have any clue if you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scoot these over. Okay, so you can see. Alright. I might only get 4. That is okay. And if you do what I just did, overfill it just a bit. Just get a big spoon. Scoop some out. I don't think I have enough, but I'm going to try. I don't think I do though. No, I'm not going to have enough. So that's what I'm left with. If you guys can see, probably 1 scoop worth. But that's alright. I could actually even put that in the fridge. So get rid of my ladle and set my jar to the side because it's still hot. So now I've got 4 jars here that just need to be the rims and the lids added. I'm going to add a little bit more to this one. Alright. I'm going to get out a little cup. I'm going to put vinegar in it. Just a little bit. Just to clean my rims. Okay. Just grab a kitchen cloth and dip and clean. And this is it. It's this easy. Just get everything out and can it while it's still hot. Let me get lids here. Hate when they stick together. When they do, I just always still dip it in water, make sure it's clean. Finger tight. Just be careful because your jars are hot. Now I do mine when I put my jars in the oven at 225 because my oven is a little, runs a little on the cooler side. So we have to crank mine up about 25 degrees. Finger tight, and then in the canner they will go. And again, these are gonna get processed for 20 minutes. And you know, this is 4 pints of sauce that I didn't have before tonight, so this is how I kind of build up my stock, you know. Any kind of leftovers that you can, go ahead and can them, because it ends up saving money in the long run. You know, it's better than leaving leftovers in the fridge to rot. And if you don't have the capabilities of freezing, well, then that's not really an option. Let me get my lid on here now. Okay. Alright. For anyone new to my channel, I use a All-American 921 model canner, pressure canner. I'm just going to go ahead. Hopefully you guys can see this. Maybe flipped around here. And when you tighten it up, you tighten opposite ends. Make sure you get it real tight. Okay. Go around. Make sure it's really tight. Okay. And then this is where I crank it up. And when this starts venting, and where I start seeing steam out of the vent, it's called venting, we will vent it for 10 minutes. And then we will put the weight on. This is 10 pounds, depending on where you live. Here in Michigan, it's 10 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes. I'll put the weight on. We will bring it to temperature, which is at 240 degrees. And then we will begin our 20-minute time. So I'm going to let this heat up. I'm going to wait for the venting to start, and when I see that, I will bring you back and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so we are back, and as you can see that steam, it is venting. So I'm going to go ahead and get my timer here. And we are going to set it for 10 minutes. Okay, so once 10 minutes is over, I will come back and put the 10-pound weight on, and then we will bring it up to temperature, which is 240 degrees, and then we will start timing then for our processing. So I'm going to be back in 10 minutes when this starts beeping, and I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so it's been venting here for 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put on the 10-pound weight, like that. And I'm going to wait for that to start jingling. When I hear that jingle, I know I can begin my 20-minute process time. So I will be back as soon as that starts wiggling and a-jiggling, and we'll start the processing. Alright guys, so this is jiggling. So we are going to go ahead and count for 20 minutes. And this is where I am going to play with my heat and bring it down to a place where I have marked on my stove. That will keep this at a nice jiggle. This will calm down. You only want this to jiggle 1 to 4 times per minute. Anything more than that, the heat is too high. Anything less than that, you are going to have to reprocess. So you want to make sure 1 to 4 times And that's it per minute. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. Give this a few, that should start calm down in a minute or so. And then we should be good to go. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to stand here for a little while. I'm going to make sure it jiggles 1 to 4 times per minute. Not more than that. And then we'll be good to go for the next 20 minutes. Alright, so 20 minutes is up. I will be back and show you the next step. Alrighty, so our timer is up. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this off now. I'm going to get you focused. And zoomed back. So now that I've shut that off, I'm going to wait until this goes back down. Turn this light. Okay. I'm going to wait until this reaches 0 on the dial. And then I'm going to go ahead and then remove that weight, that weighted gauge. And then I'm going to let out any extra steam that might be in there. It's important that there's no steam coming out of this and that this is totally at 0 and before we go ahead and open up the lid. So I'm going to let this depressurize now, let it come down, and once it is ready to open and the sauce is ready to be taken out, I will come back and share that with you. Okay guys, it's kind of late. It's like 11 o'clock at night. But I've been watching, Noreen's got me watching that Breaking Bad. And so I've been watching this marathon run of Breaking Bad for like the past, I don't know, since the weekend I think. And I'm like halfway through season 4 and I just, once I start watching, I can't stop. So I can let time get away from me. Anyway, there is my canner, and focus there. Okay, so it's I'm just gonna use this here. It's already come down over pressure here. Just gotta open these up. For anyone who has this canner, you use a towel or something to get them loose. It's just a lot easier to have a little grip. These are just going to cool on their own overnight. Go ahead and pull these out. I'm going to actually, well, I'll pull one out here just to show you. It's all done. I'm going to go ahead and lower this so you guys can see. All 4 done here. Is it. So people ask me, is it worth it? Some people say this isn't worth getting out the canner and doing it, but for me, you know, the pressure canner does it all. I just have to time it a little. But if you guys see, it's very little effort. It really is. And the more you do this, the simpler and the faster it's going to be. When I do this without filming, it's super quick. But some people say it's not worth it. To me, it is. It's very worth it. This is 4 dinners for me and my husband. put them together, you have a quart of sauce is dinner for my whole family. So it's either 2 family dinners or it's 4 smaller dinners for me and my husband. That's 2 to 4 meals that I didn't have on my shelf before tonight. And this is how I build up my inventory. You know, if you do a little bit here, a little bit there, you end up with a lot of different things on your in your pantry, in your canning pantry, that you didn't have before. So yeah, it's very worth it to me. I don't see a whole lot of effort in it. It's not a big deal for me to pull out my canner after dinner and get these canned up. And then they're just going to sit here overnight. I'll wash them up in the morning, label them, and put them on my shelf. And that's it. So this is what I do. If you have anything left over, you know, leftover pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, soups, meat, if you have extra taco meat, I mean, you can can anything, just about anything you want. So yeah. So anyway, alright, I'm going to let these sit, and what I usually do is just get a cloth, and these are hot, so I'm just going to put, I got a fly buzzing around here, it's going to drive me nuts. I'll put them close together, and then I'm just going to cover them with a kitchen towel or a tea towel and let them cool, and by morning they'll be good to go. So I believe all 4 of them's already sealed. Yep, so they already popped in the canner, so I don't have to worry about that. And that's it. Super easy, very little effort, and for me it's worth it. So alright guys, I hope this video helped those of you who are feeling still a little intimidated or not really sure how to go about doing this at night after dinner. But as you can see, it's really, really simple. So alright guys, I will see you tomorrow. I have a lot of videos I have that I want to do. I just gotta get up the energy to do them. So but I might make a video talking about that too. So I don't know, who knows, but I'm going to bed. I don't know, I might watch one more episode of Breaking Bad before I do. I'm so addicted. So alright guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.